So hey, what's up for anybody who tunes in and checks out this video? We have got, you need to get away from the cables, bud. Look out. We've got a bit of the experimental, maybe unusual setup. So yesterday, maybe you saw the footage, or in the archive, maybe you saw the footage of the preceding day of some gameplay of GRiD. But today, I gotta turn around and look at the title on the box because I don't remember it. Ferrari 458. Yeah, so my Thrustmaster Ferrari 458 Italia racing wheel and pedals came in, which is why the camera environment is a little bit different. A lot of times it's different anyway, just because I'm at a different workstation. But we've definitely got some big differences today. So that is causing me to try and work out a few things, like where exactly I'm going to put this microphone. I don't quite have the answer to that just yet. So there we go. We're going to try and put it up on the stand directly in front of me, which should help with noise capture, voice capture. Actually, how's the volume on that? Yeah, so it looks like the volume's going to be good. I need to move it a bit over to the right here, which unfortunately is going to put the cable run right in front of me as it's running behind me back to the streaming box. Or really the capture box these days. Okay, I think that works. So I've got the wheel and pedals set up. It's pretty awesome. They're pretty awesome that they act. It's actually just like a 360 controller. Having some problems with getting the cable run to come out of the bottom of the pedals and stay in there so that they're not so that they don't get pinched underneath the base by one of the edges. So I'm going to try and put in about an hour of time today. But we'll have to see how that goes. People are not sleeping on their schedule today. So the one problem is that the wheel and the clamp don't really go on this workstation like I need them to, because the lip on the workstation is about that big. So I've actually clipped them to the stool that I normally sit in, and I'm going to try and sit in one of my office chairs, and we are just going to have to run it and see how it goes. I'm going to angle the camera down just a skosh. Just to make sure I'm in it. I'm not sure if I've moved the chair up. But what's really cool with this is one of the buttons on here acts as a D-pad. And I went in and set things up a little while ago, and everything looks like it's behaving just like a 360 controller. You know, because again, when I went to buy this, just like when I went looking for a new joystick, so where are you going? San Francisco short circuit. Not even sure what this pro mode is exactly. Won't be able to restart a race with the pause menu. I don't think I set the driver assist right. I think in this game, traction control is the one that auto applies your brakes. Oh, no. Crikey. Did I have braking assist on in the first race, in those races last night? It was not desired. Yeah, so you can turn on stability control while leaving braking assist and traction control off. So let's go with that. That could be. I should have. Not sure why I haven't been able to figure out exactly how to cue flashbacks on my own. Come on. Stop on. So it's good and nice that yeah, so the setup isn't optimal. I've kind of got. I've got the wheel slightly off to my left and the pedal slightly off to my right, so I'm kind of sitting with my torso facing one way and the wheel and pedals facing another, and I don't have the normal reach to the wheel that I normally do. Yeah, the setup isn't really working well. So yeah, the problem is I have so normally when I have it hooked up to one of my tables, man, and the chair's moving backwards whenever I step on the pedals. Yeah, the chair is definitely part of the problem. Come on. But yeah, normally I have the steering wheel. Man, I thought these pedals were. Yeah, great. I thought these. Well, when I practiced with the setup before I started recording, I felt like the pedals were a little further from each other. I'm also playing with my socks on and no shoes, which just makes it feel slippery. Yeah, I've got a lot less. I thought the way it was, my foot could just kind of pivot on the heel and touch the pedals, but when I do that, I'm actually hitting. And now I think I'm getting it. I think I'm definitely going to have to do something about the chair. I don't think I can be on a chair with wheels. Whoa. Great. So, yeah, so the problem... Come on. Turn radius on such a low speed. Yeah, so the problem right now is like all three things that I'm touching. So the wheel and pedal mount, the steering wheel. When I say the steering wheel, I mean the steering wheel plus the stool that I have it connected to and the chair that I'm in keep moving, so I keep getting kind of repositioned. And where I have the pedals just isn't really optimal. So what I've been trying to say from the beginning is that normally...
Okay, Crash. Push a bit harder on this next lap. You're slipping behind.
Normally when I have the steering wheel bolted to a table, I usually have the pedals directly in the same line with it, obviously, and they're actually out in front of me a bit. Come on, we'll just... Great. Yeah, so the brake pedal got stuck under one of the lower rails on the stool. Man. Okay, so I think I have a chair right over on the other side of the basement that It doesn't have wheels, so I'm going to break that out. And then I think I'm going to grab the rubber foam mat that I normally stand on when I have one of my workstations set up as a standing workstation. I think that will fix all my problems. The wheel feels great, so that's pretty awesome. I think this is all going to work. I think, I just did kind of a static test with this setup before. I wasn't actually playing the game. And I convinced myself that it was all going to work. That is not the case.
Okay, you're coming up on your last lap.
But I think I can eliminate all the kind of slipping and sliding around that every piece of this setup is doing. Then I think eventually I can find a table that's at the right height to, hook the wheel into.
Another win for Luminity.
This whole thing about the wheels catching underneath the stool is becoming a problem. I have a little laptop table that I could probably set up, but it's way too lightweight. The wheel is and its base are so heavy that I really need something very sturdy for it to connect to. But like I said, I think if I can eliminate all those problems, and I say it makes it sound like there's a lot of problems. There's really not. There's really just one problem, which is that and everything that I'm either holding on to or touching with my feet is sliding out of position. Every time I give a control input. Alright, so I'm going to take a quick few seconds to reconfigure these things. Give me just a bit. It's not like I'm live. Just going to be a few seconds if you're watching an archive version of the video. Okay, so the only thing now is team review replay. And not have an option to replay the event. See. Just go sit down somewhere. Sit on the carpet. Okay, I left faster than the target. Nürburgring.
You came up short in the last two events.
I know.
How about trying an easier level?
Shut up. Gonna reset my driver assist. I think, yeah. Set my driver assist back at the same. So the only thing now is the wheel. Now the wheel is sitting a little low. Okay, so it's just a test lap. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, it's definitely lower than I would. The steering wheel is definitely lower than I would want it to be, but. Okay, let's see if I can. Yeah, Formula 1, Formula 1, okay. Sorry. So I was just reminding myself that it's the first half of the. It's the first part of the Nürburgring Formula 1 track, which has that hairpin turn at the bottom of the hill. I'm not really putting on good speed right now. One of the problems is the closest of the pedals is still. You know, the problem is that as when I'm sitting right on top of the pedals like I am now, because I can't get them under a table directly underneath the wheel. It's just that much harder to get my foot over. What it's causing me to have to do is to lift my foot entirely off the gas. To apply the brake instead of just kind of rolling my heel left and right. Which makes it hard, especially if I have the speed wrong going into a turn and I need to apply more, I have to flip back over to the brake. It's okay if I'm getting it right, nailing the brakes once. Which came. Are you kidding me? Well, definitely not beating the 47 time here. And the problem with not being able to get my arms away from the wheel is when I do have to roll the wheel, far to the left and far to the right. It's harder when you're like on top of the wheel. From farther away from it, I can stretch my arms all the way out. It's definitely easier then. So now I'm a bit nervous after having spun out that this BMW is a little squirrely. Just having a hard time settling into my normal. Oh, come on. And the wheels had some good rotation. I just rolled it all the way to the left just there, and it's like more than 100 or more than 90 degrees of roll left or right. Rolls until the steering wheel central plane is just below a 90-degree turn. And again, so when the car starts to, when the back end starts to slide out a bit, it's hard to get off the gas once I'm in the fully depressed position, because again, I'm like right on top of the gas pedals. As great as this wheel is, and as decent as the setup is, they're kind of left wanting for making the configuration and the physical spacing perfect. Yeah, because of course I feel like I'm not getting everything out of the wheel right now. Yeah. So got one more lap to come in under 147. I don't know if I'm going to make that. I'm also really confused about how it's floating to the right like that and catching the edge, because I'm like, I'm holding the wheel straight or at the same degree of turn, so it's weird, a little clipping there on the game in the trees. So I think I've eliminated the, see what I mean right there? Like, there again, I mean, it just, yeah, I'm holding the wheel. Could be that my dead zone is too big. That could be it. Also not really using the analog brake. I'm kind of like either wailing on it or not pushing down on it at all. That's right. I always forget when I first get into this game. GRiD is a game that definitely plays better if you pump your brakes. They're in and out of turns. Nope, still not fast enough. Well, the one nice thing about this game, as is the case with a lot of other games, is no matter what, I'm still getting paid as I go through the grind, even if you know, my performance each time isn't great. Is this a drift event? Okay, good. Lab here, seeing if there's some way to have of rigging this.
You must have done something right to get noticed by Top Secret, and they'll pay you extra if you beat Toyo Team Hurricane today.
I've played this race many times, and it is very difficult. First, to understand what the track is, avoid all the traffic from the other racers. This is an incredibly squirrely car, this 350Z.
Watch out for an accident ahead.
It's very tight in here, few opportunities to pass. And I have all the problems I'm currently having with the setup.
Shiro Aikawa is directly ahead of you.
Oh, jeez.
You're looking at Yoichi Momura's car just ahead of you.
So I saw when I was setting everything up that there's a button for speed boost, and I guess maybe eventually you're supposed to get nitro. Yeah, you have these
Your car got a little banged up, but it's nothing.
uneven parts of the track. You know, where in addition to already fighting this thing, you're
The front chassis had some pretty serious damage now.
great. Yeah. At this point, all I can really do is just ride it out. The wheel and pedals feel great though. Oh, no.
Spun out. Yoichi Imamura.
Well, I guess this is kind of what you go through every time you get a new peripheral, is definitely need to take some time to get accustomed to the feel of the hardware. I think eventually I'm going to get it. It's just so painful here on the outset. And I mean, this is my first time using the wheel and pedals. I mean, I just broke it out of the box. You can probably see the boxes stacked up behind me. And it was one of them. Before I started recording, I basically broke it out of the box and connected it. Kind of sat in the chair and twisted the handle a bit, but I didn't actually get in any gameplay before I started recording, so. So this is the test flight. So at the end of the day, I'm overall really happy that I just glad I was able to find a set of wheel and pedals. I mean, a lot of places, you know, you check online and there'd be like 5 models. And I was coming up with nothing, you know, that wasn't like a $400 or $500 setup when I was looking for PC wheel and pedals. Eventually, I decided to go look at Xbox compatible wheels and pedals. And then once I found that list, of which there were only like 10, then I started looking for models that were obviously reviewed and rated highly, but then ones that also said that they were compatible with PC, and so I came across this one. This is one that came out with the Xbox 360 to support one of the Forza games. So what I really need is I really need to be able to lean back in the seat, reach all the way forward to grab the wheel. But then so I need the wheel like right there. But then I need to be able to get to the pedals, and I need them slightly ahead of the wheel. I can't set it up like that because it's sitting on top of a stool, and the legs of the stool are where I would normally put the pedals. I could probably actually get the stool on top of the pedals and have enough room for the pedals to move. The problem is I can't. The problem is that the lower rails are directly in the path of where my feet and leg need to go. I also really like how the wheel has an integrated D-pad, so it's not like I have to race the game with the wheel, but then reach up and grab the mouse to get around the menu. So I'm pretty close. What I'm really wanting to get to is Lamborghini Murcielago. So I think I'll go with Speed California Track. I wonder if that's on Laguna. fairly close to a setup that I can actually use.
There's a bonus available if you finish in the top 5. The top 5 finish in this race will earn you the bonus objective.
Super powerful exotics, and I have no idea what this track is like. Man, this is just a wreck waiting to happen. I really need to know how flashback works now.
Driver is spun out. I think that's Shiro Aikawa.
This is not a race where I can afford all the input shortfalls that I've been. I know.
Okay, you're looking at Yamaguchi dead ahead.
Right, all the way back in 12th.
Joe Sampson dead ahead.
This car can definitely drive faster than I can see.
This is your final lap.
Really? Great. No. Don't spin, don't spin. Great. Rear suspension damage, clearly. Great.
Just a little knock, your car's fine.
I don't even know what direction I should be going right now. Seriously?
You're going the wrong way.
This is so horrible. Come on.
Your car got a little banged up, but it's nothing serious.
Really? Yeah. So somewhere. I bet now she's going to tell me that I've got enough to start my own team.
Great job. Now we're in business. The first thing you've got to do is choose a name for our new team. This is how we'll be known worldwide, so make it good.
Okay, so I apologize, I'm probably not blocking the camera, but think it's fine. I just kind of randomized everything. Alright, I think I have one more possibility of getting myself out of this painful experience, so we're going to be going on break here one more time. Yep, nope, couldn't figure anything out. So what I was thinking was when I moved in here, I had another computer table. And I thought I've got just enough room just set it up in front of the Alienware's workbench and put the wheel and pedals on and play it that way, which would make it just like I normally have them on a normal PC setup. Problem is I took that table and used it out in the basement to put the kids' TV on. So that I'm not going to be able to do. I'm not quite sure where to start here. Let's go to driver offers. Oh, no. Right. Driver offers are what you take when you can't afford. My team. Oh, I definitely can't afford another car, so there's no point in looking at that.
The podium represents the world of professional racing. It's divided into 3 regions: the United States, Japan, and Europe. Completing events boosts your rep in each region and earns you new licenses. The more licenses you have, the more events you can enter, and the more money we'll make.
So I have to get licenses now? Is that what's going on? Okay, so this is telling me I don't have the vehicles to enter, right? Back out, yeah. Let's play the classic. Is that the only thing? It's the only thing in that category I can play. This is. And so now what I need is I either need a fixed seat without wheels that's lower than this one. And I did see a warning right in the manual that tells you do not use the pedals in either bare feet or just socks on. This car is so squirrely. I don't even know if having the wheel and pedals is going to help. Don't do that. I really need to figure out how to get a flashback or restart.
Your car got a little banged up, but it's nothing serious.
No, I wonder. I hate playing 2-foot wheel and pedals, but let's see if that works. That may be the whole key to this problem. Come on. Oh. I came around this corner. I felt like I had a shot at catching up. Apparently I did. Just don't know if I'm going to be able to actually. I don't know if there's any passing opportunities here. Don't upset the car.
Whoa! Someone spun out.
I hit the brake so far that I just moved everything. Stool, wheel pedals, chair. Now I'm getting frustrated because with all the problems, I'm actually fairly close. I mean, with everybody packed in together like that, this is really just a matter of getting lucky and doing a flyby on the pack in a turn. In and out.
Well done, Crash. That's your own personal best time on this track.
Come on.
Great passing. So clean.
Yeah, so you guys didn't see it, but when I just hit the wheel, and pedal, same thing. I just shoved like the whole thing, despite it being on this frictionless mat, using 2 feet. You know, one on brake, one on gas, one on brake. It's just overcoming any of the friction of the mat. And that's probably because at some points I'm doing both gas and brake. Come on. Well, 11th position is still better than 12th, right?
Right there ahead of you.
Scott Jensen is not just ahead of me. Scott Jensen's the race leader. He's way ahead of me. Still within striking distance. Yeah, I mean the whole mat twisted around. Still, I think we're inching in on a solution. Got time for one more race, maybe 2. Oh, great. Straight into the next race.
Watch this guy today.
So what we do, this is 3 laps. Nothing but Mustangs. Or is this just the same lap reversed? No.
You've taken over 8th place.
Come on. That's one thing with the wheel and pedals, like very small incremental movements are very difficult. You really have to put a lot of input into the wheel to get the nose to come over just a slight amount, which admittedly is more realistic, but still at the end of the day just more difficult than just playing with a controller.
Your car got a little banged up, but it's nothing serious.
And I know, so I was starting to figure it out. feel like this is just the last track reversed.
Whoa, someone spun out. It's Bobby Lomax.
Right. So now I'm catching up and I just... Come on. Just messed up the wheel and pedals. Doors flapping open. Was it Grand Theft Auto? I've got the gas pedal pegged now at like 209 kilometers an hour. Ah. That would have been great if that guy with the green car hadn't just... And when the tails of these cars get way over it... So, what would have been a decent improvement has just gone to marginal. It's my steering that's most affected. Back in 12th. So now I understand why all those racing wheel and pedal stands that are like $100 are for sale on Amazon, so that you can, you know, fix them into a rigid structure. That might just wind up being the way I have to go. Like I can definitely. This is frustrating as all heck. You know, the problem is if I go to buy a table or something to try and fix this, it's going to be complete guesswork as to whether or not it's going to work or not. And I guess what those things are, it's a vertical stand and platform, so you can put the wheel on and you can adjust the height. So no matter what chair you're in, that'll work. And then a cage for the pedals. And I guess the way it works is, you know, because you're holding onto the wheel and pushing on the pedals, you know, forces working in the opposite direction. The thing's not gonna move from you. You're gonna instinctively pull back on the whole mount when you push on the pedals if it starts to move away from you, and same thing on the wheel. Like I feel like it's not even productive to play another race, but of course I will. Road license. lucky.
Toge is head-to-head racing on narrow Japanese mountain roads. Pro Toge events take place during the day on closed public roads. You'll race 2 legs against each opponent, one up and one down. The winner is the fastest over 2 legs. In Pro Toge events, contact is strictly forbidden between drivers. It is up to the chasing driver to ensure that no contact occurs, so be incredibly careful when attempting a passing maneuver.
There's no way this is going to end well.
You came up short in the last 2 events. How about trying an easier level?
Yeah, I don't understand that. What the flashlight. The way I remember this on console, it just seemed like you just had a set number of flashbacks, like every time. You just spin them during the race. I don't see anything on the HUD though that tells me, come on, really? Yeah, this sitting on the stool, like the with the steering wheel and the mount itself is like heavier than the stool when it's sitting on top of the thing, so. So this is an interesting instance where I thought, playing a racing game would be tons better by refreshing my wheel and pedals. I had a Logitech yellow wheelman for probably a good 6, 7, or 8 years, and of course, it started getting harder to track down drivers for it, and the customized software was no longer supported. I've got to either calibrate this wheel or get into this game and lessen the dead zone. I feel like I've just wasted an entire hour of my life fighting this stinking thing. I can't remember being more frustrated playing a racing game than like the first Gran Turismo, which was like my first big racing game that had, lots of tuning parameters and whatnot. Back then it was just learning in and out. I just had to figure out how to get this wheel and pedal set up. with the right ergonomics. So
Better luck next time.
quite disappointing. Because I played better last night with just the controller, and I was like asleep on my feet. Alright, well, that's it for another session. Nothing much productive went on during this one. I guess just a bunch of learning what is not working.